Hi, my name is Stacey Bell Lynn. I spent 20 years working in local news, and 13 years ago, I married an NFL player turned coach, Anthony Lynn, and joined the world of NFL superwives. I've always loved hearing about the life behind the headlines. It's where you find the common thread that connects us. That's what I want to do here. My husband played and coached for the Broncos and 49ers. He's currently the running backs coordinator for the Commanders. We've moved 6 times across the country for his various jobs. When I first met my husband, I didn't know anything about football. I just loved the commercials and the snacks. Well, trust me, that's changed. In my new NFL world, the wives became my family and confidants. It is a sisterhood that transcends teams and rivalries. In each episode, I'll talk with a significant other of a player or coach, the football wives who hold it all together. We'll get real and give you a behind-the-scenes glimpse of it all. This is the world that I want to share with you. Welcome to Super Wives of the NFL, their inside stories. Let's kick it off. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Super Wives of the NFL. I'm Stacey Bell Lynn, and I am joined by Holly Campbell. Hi, Holly.
Hi, thank you for having me.
For those of you who don't know or didn't catch the last name, Holly's husband is Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions, one of the most, I think, popular and successful coaches out there right now. So congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm very proud of him.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Detroit football. So anybody on this journey, with a husband who's in this business, you interview, you pray for the jobs, you pray for the opportunities, their disappointments, their no's. Do you look back now and think all of those no's, all of those closed doors were worth it because we ended up right where we were supposed to be?
Absolutely. There is no more perfect spot for Dan and really for our family than Detroit. And, he played for Detroit. He actually was here during the 0-16 season. I like to say he gets an asterisk, though, because he was hurt. So he didn't play. So, maybe it would have been different. Who knows? But when we first came here, we were excited because they wanted him. And, when somebody wants your husband, you're just excited, but you don't hear a lot of great things about Detroit. So we felt pretty stupid once we got here and we realized how wonderful it is and how wonderful the people are. So we always said if there was a reason to come back, we would in a heartbeat. So the fact that this is where he got his head coaching job was kind of perfect. But yeah, he had 5 interviews before he got this job. And it is hard. It's hard to see him disappointed. It's hard to see him go in there and, they say what they're wanting is basically like the criteria is him. And then they go in another direction, which is fine. There's more than one way to do it. But the person they go with is nothing like him. So it kind of felt like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm never going to, but, we always said you don't need everybody to want you. You just need one. And, we're sure glad it was Detroit. So yes, it was worth it.
Yes. I remember, and I know you do too, that opening press conference where they introduced him, and because we were with you guys that first year, and,
Yes.
He said something about, we're going to bust them at the kneecaps. And,
people he said a lot of things. There was a lot of body parts that were bitten, destroyed, whatever. Yes. I think the first thing I told him whenever I talked to him after that was like, yeah, that was a lot of body parts. We probably could have ended at one knee, but it's kind of iconic now. It works. I think at the time it was shocking, but that is who he is. And when he says, he means it. He was not talking to anyone. He wasn't talking to the whole world. He was talking to Detroit and Detroit fans and the Detroit players. And I think the people he was talking to, it landed with.
Yes. And I think too, it wasn't like, it wasn't meant to be, and you had to know this at the time, that it wasn't like, abusive or brutal, but it was more about setting the tone for the mentality of the football team and the city. And I think that he really did set the tone.
Yes. Yes. And that's him. He speaks from the heart. He doesn't really rehearse anything. Right. It's like what comes out is like 100% real, authentically him. So.
Yeah.
And it's the
But
whole,
no, he knows that you can't actually bite a kneecap. Like,
I know, but it's the whole, like it really did set the tone for the way you guys play. And I think that has been beneficial over the last 4 years. So I think people who were like maybe sitting in judgment now, back then, may be looking, going, there could have been something to that, just coming right out the box,
right.
talking about the kind of team and your mentality that you're going to have.
Right. And I think also once people got to know him, like
Yeah.
once people got to see more his personality and like all the facets of him,
Yeah.
it's not quite as jarring. But yes, if that's your first introduction to Dan Campbell, it probably was a lot for a lot of
Right.
people.
Right. I was in the gym recently, and the trainer was like, "You got to work harder. Show me your grit." And I was so tired, and I said under my breath, "Who am I, Dan Campbell? Let's wrap this up so I can go home. Like, I'm not about this." And the person next to me cracked up and started laughing. So that's kind of become synonymous with like the grit. But that's how Detroit is. It's a gritty
Yes.
but a beautiful and lovable city.
Yes. It's really great. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a really great place to be.
We said this. I will speak for me. Like coming there, we moved there for a year, coming from California, and so when you first land in the winter, it's still
Oh yeah,
cold,
well that's hard. The weather is hard. It is.
but the people were so nice.
Mhm.
The fans are they're phenomenal. Like they just
Yes.
rally behind you. Like, and that has to be cool for you guys too, having that just hardcore fan base.
Yes, no, the fan, I mean, we've been in a lot of places and I've never seen fans like this. Now, we've had great fans. I mean, New Orleans, we came from New Orleans. New Orleans has great fans. They absolutely do. But I don't know. One Pride is like next level. I
It,
mean, they travel there. I mean, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy when whether you're at the game, an away game, or watching it on TV to see all that blue. It's
mhm.
just like I mean, I'm like, go us.
It
The
really
fans are
is.
awesome.
The second year we were with the second or third year 49ers, and we played you guys, and there was all this concern that, the blue, is it the Hawaii blue, right? Was going to
Honolulu blue.
Honolulu blue, thank you, I was close, was going to take
Yes.
over our stadium. So there was this whole, don't sell your tickets because they travel. And there was a lot of Honolulu blue at that
Yeah.
game, but the fans were into it and they were diehard, but you never felt like there's going to be a fight, if somebody
Right.
loses. Like everybody is it's just such a great city. I lived in Cleveland for a long time, and Detroit and Cleveland are very similar, I think.
I think it's the Midwest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really Midwest people. I mean, in my opinion, are some of the best people. I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean, I come from the South. So, I mean, like, I know friendly,
Yeah.
um, you know, um, but I also, being from the South, know that it's not always authentic. Like, there's a lot of like fake friendly.
Yeah.
And I think the Midwest is about as real as it gets.
Yeah. There's a lot of bless your heart friendly. I'm from the South too.
Yes.
So yeah, I get that. You talked about like, talking to Dan the day after his press conference, and I've had to do that with Anthony a lot, whether it's text or call, or he comes home and I say, babe, that analogy just did not hit. And I think for these guys, like so many people are impressed by them and they're afraid to speak up to them. I know for me, I often find that as being my role, I have to be the person who speaks the truth and
Right.
love to him. Do you find
Right.
that as well?
Oh yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to speak up to him. I mean, but he wants me to too. I mean, that's what we're here. I mean, they trust us and they know that we're going to give them an honest answer, and and they know it's coming from love.
Right.
So
Let's talk about you. Now, you have always been seemingly pretty content to be behind the scenes, but
Mhm.
your social media following has really blown up over the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. This was not my intention when I went public. I think there was just a lot of everybody kind of wanted, it's a very special situation here with the team not having won for so long, and then Dan being so popular, and so then people kind of want to know a little bit of everything, and some of my stuff was getting out, and then of course we got doxxed a couple times, and so I mean I was kind of in like where it was just very stressful, like everything was very stressful, and I was trying, and none of it was working. It's been like 3 years, and like trying to be very, very private was not protecting my peace.
Okay.
So I figured, well, maybe if I just lean into it a little bit, maybe if I just like put a little bit out there and try to showcase Detroit and showcase small businesses and charities, and I mean, maybe just put, put us out there a little bit. Maybe things will get, die down a little bit. They'll get used to us. I figured they'd get sick of me, eventually. And
The
it
opposite.
did blow up bigger than I intended it to, but it's still I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying connecting with the fans and anytime now I'm not someone who puts myself out there very much. So it's just about anytime I hit send on something, there's like instant like, oh gosh, like I don't want to look, I don't want to see. So there's still a lot of that. But when I've seen the difference that a post can make for a small business or the money it can raise for a charity or just the goodwill, just the positive things you can put out there, it makes it worth it. I mean, and then I really do enjoy it. I really am enjoying connecting with fans. And, people send me pictures of their kids and their dogs and their coffee runs. And it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't feel like a social media, like influencer kind of thing. It really does feel more like a community.
And more of a way for you to connect with the fans and the people who are supporting, your husband and the Lions and you guys.
Yes.
Now, when you say doxed, I thought I read something a couple of years ago about maybe they didn't toilet paper your house, but was there something like that?
The first time, and I hate to even put this kind of stuff out there because I don't want to give people ideas, because the first one was actually more annoying than the second one, which was a little bit more scary. We had someone had put our address on Angie's List, complete with like all these things we needed done with some like ridiculous like pay amount. And so we were getting like it was like a Monday, or maybe I can't remember what game it was. I think it might have been a Sunday, or it was a Monday. It was a day that people normally wouldn't come to your door, and workers were just showing up to do work on our house. And then they were calling Dan. I think Dan still gets calls from contractors trying to like do work on the house. And it was, so that was pretty annoying. And you can't get that fixed, just so you know. If Angie's List gets you on there, it will take forever for them to take it down. And then even then it still exists in cyberspace somewhere. And then the other time was actually after the 49ers game when we lost and someone posted our address online. And my daughter was actually home and we were still in California. And so we had to kind of evacuate her because people were showing up. And I don't know that it was kids. I mean, so I don't know that the danger level, but it does make you kind of aware. And then we hadn't bought our house under an LLC because nobody tells you to do stuff like that. So it's not illegal to put somebody's address online if their address is public. So we moved, and so people are like, well, what are you going to do? They're going to, and I'm like, we know people are going to figure out where we live. It's just now it's illegal to post our address. If you post our address now, so anybody getting any ideas, we can prosecute now.
Exactly. And they will prosecute. So yeah. But that's another example of I think how sometimes the success in this business changes things. You don't necessarily think when you get the job, you think, well, nobody cares. I'm just going to get the house and we'll live here and we'll be good neighbors and it'll be fine. But you sometimes do have to change the way you do things.
Right. Because I mean, I think, and you know this, it's just a job. It's just a job. It's what our husband does. So they go to work and then we're being, a mom or this or whatever we're doing. And I mean, it's just a normal life. So it feels weird to think that your life might not be completely normal anymore when you really are so normal.
Exactly. That's the thing. So I want to talk more about your social media because you are a legitimate influencer now. You have over 1 million followers?
Oh, no. Like 100,000 something. Okay. Not anywhere near 1 million.
Came together in my mind. But I saw this quote and I have to find it. I was talking to your good friend, who's also been a friend to me, Kim Alexander.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in the NFL.
Isn't she the best?
Oh, gosh, she's just
the best. I mean, literally the best girlfriend. She is a girl's girl.
She is. But I was talking to Kim and I said, man, her social media presence it's blown up. And I said, I think she's so authentic and so real. And I saw this quote, and of course I can't find it now, but it's something about authenticity negates competition. And I thought of you because I thought that's one reason you have been so successful as this, because you're being real. And I think that connects with people. Is that what you hear from people, that you're just down to earth and real?
Yes, but I'm sorry, I'm surprised she waited this long to get in my lap. Thelma, she's always in my lap. My whole thing is like, I wasn't going to do it unless I was going to be authentic. So really just about everything I post was exactly the things that I was posting.
Okay.
But before I was public. So I don't treat it any differently. I mean, there has been some ad stuff, but I haven't monetized it. I'm not trying to make a career out of it. I have done some ads, but I've said no to most things. I mean, most of the things that I said yes to the love sack stuff because, I posted the video of Dan with the love sack and then they wanted Piper in that. And then I've said yes to other things that were like kind of in conjunction with Dan. So I haven't really jumped into hey, look at me. Yet it's not really, I mean, I don't have a business plan with this. I really am just, it's just really, it's basically as a public, private social media account. It's really just my life. And I post when I feel like it. I don't ever, I make sure that I don't ever force a post. Like I don't ever think, oh, I need to post today. If it doesn't feel natural, I just don't do it. So, I mean, it probably feels authentic because it is, warts and all. I mean, I post my awkwardness because I am an awkward person. So, and there is no competition. Like I will say this, and Kim would tell you this about me too. Like I refuse to compete. I refuse to compete with it. That's not what if I'm competing with anybody, I'm competing with myself. So, and I think that, I'm rooting for everybody else. I feel like there's room for everybody. But yeah, as far as social media goes, please beat me. I beg you to beat me.
Well, you've set the bar pretty high. And I think another thing that people enjoy is, and Dan has a great personality for this, he totally plays along with everything. Like I have to twist Anthony's arm to get him to take a picture with me. So him riding along with me to get coffee after a win, he seems like he just is having a good time with it too.
Oh, yes. He, not always. Let's see. I know that my limitations. I know whenever what will be too far, and I try to spread it out. So I don't know. There was one coffee one where you never saw his face. Like you just saw him leaning out the window, or you saw his arm, or you saw a picture of the dog because he wasn't really having it that day. Not that he told me, no, you can't do that. I could just tell from body language. So I'm just yeah, I'm not going to get him. And I do usually, the pictures I get, I don't usually try to get him to pose. Most of the pictures you see him posed in, he doesn't really look all that relaxed. So normally it's stealth mode.
I think people like seeing him, moving your daughter into college or, tossing a pea, just doing the normal things that a husband and dad would do. I think people love that kind of stuff.
Right. Because that's what I said. We are normal people. There is a life outside of football and we have pretty much the same life that everybody else does with kids and responsibilities and, laundry and vacuuming and all those things.
Tell me about it. How have you over the years, have you had to really shelter your kids from any of this craziness?
Well, luckily he was never top tier, in the media all the time. When he played for Dallas, when you're in Dallas, if you are affiliated with the Dallas Cowboys, kind of everybody knows who you are, no matter who you are. So, a little bit there, he would get recognized. And then whenever he was the interim head coach in Miami, that was kind of a big, huge thing. And so we kind of had that, those kind of training wheels. But I don't think anything could have prepared us for what happened here. I don't know that I've ever seen this, I mean, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know if I've ever seen this level of interest in a head coach or a head coach's family. Luckily, it's here in Detroit where everybody's so nice.
No, and that's the thing. We've talked about that. Everybody there is so cool. And you've gotten a lot of publicity out of this too. Like, you have a lot of organizations in the city that you help out with, and there's such a need for that in Detroit. So it has to be gratifying to know you're helping these organizations, make money or get publicity or whatever it is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're the ones who are doing the real good work. I mean, they're the ones that, have, dedicated their lives and come up with, gosh, there's so many great organizations that do so much good, to help so many people. And if me talking about it or me posting about it or me donating to it, if that's going to bring awareness and help them, then yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for as long as I can do it.
Now, do you feel the pressure like starting out every year because you guys are constantly building on, this great year after this great year, which is a wonderful thing to say about Detroit football. But is there the pressure going into the year now because the expectations are so high? Because
yeah,
for me,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit, you get the butterflies and you get a little nervous. I would say it's like that, every year. Cause, well, you know how it is. I mean, you see what they say. Oh, our schedule is brutal, or you're playing this many teams. But I mean, you never know. Like, you really never know, like, what a season is going to look like until you start getting into it. I mean, you don't know if you're as good as everybody says you're going to be. I mean, and you don't know if all the other teams are as good or as bad. I mean, there's teams that are supposed to be bad, and then they're not.
Yeah.
So you really don't know. So I try not to buy into the whole narrative, because every season is going to be its own season, and you're going to have your own little pitfalls and things are, you're going to face adversity. I mean, no matter what, no matter how good a season is. I mean, last year we won 15 games, but I mean, we also lost half of our defense. I mean, it was like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And I mean, it's like never a dull moment. So definitely, it's like there's unfinished business. They want, that's, they're all, I mean, Dan has never won a ring, and I mean, not as a player, not as a coach. And I mean, he wants one bad. And he wants one for himself, but he wants it for the city of Detroit, and he wants it for the Lions organization, and he wants it for his players, and, for the fans. But he wants it. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely that pressure there, but like, it's the NFL. It's like, we just gotta get on the ride and see what happens.
A friend of mine said, and I think they're with you guys now, Stacey O'Neill, Jim and Stacey. She said,
oh yes, she is wonderful. She is wonderful. Like just a ray of positivity.
Yes. She said many years ago, and I met her as I was first starting out with Anthony, and they had been doing this a couple of years. And she said, the highs are high and the lows are lows. So, and there's no way around that. When you lose, and you're so close to the Super Bowl, it is a gut punch. You can't just shake it off and be like, oh, everything works out. It's like, no, let me be depressed for 2 or 3 days. I just have to write this out. And that's it. But when you win and you're high, oh my God, it's so much fun.
It's the best. Like the good parts that you see are very, very good. They're so fun.
Yeah.
And then the bad parts are not fun at all. I mean, and I think the hardest part, and you probably would agree with this, is, we see how much work they put into it. Yeah. We see how many hours they work. We see, like how much they sacrifice to be up there doing it. And then for that to end, even if it's just a regular season game, for that to end in a loss, it just feels like such a waste. And you just see it on their face. Now, most of them are pretty good, because then they're right back into it, planning for the next one. But there is a heaviness. I will say that, because this is year 27. Like, if you put together all the playing and then all the coaching, year 27. And I try really hard. Some games are harder than others, but I try really hard to not let my week be dictated by the football game the week before. I try not to if it's a significant loss, or if it's something, then, it might take me, It might not be 24 hours. Maybe it'll be 48 hours. But I refuse to be like upset about something for an entire week when I refuse to be upset about my husband's job for an entire week.
And I think that's where, like, especially for us, it's sometimes a little bit easier to like separate yourself from that because with you, you've still got the kids. You, even as
Right.
adults, they have things going on. I've got things to do around the house. I can't stay in a funk for 2 or 3 days because things would fall apart without me paying
Right.
attention to them. So I just don't have that luxury.
Well, yeah, the spouses, we still have a semblance of a normal life. Like
Yeah.
we still do the normal things. But for the guys, I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
it's pretty much all football all the time.
My stepdaughter has a rule for Anthony that he gets the night after a loss to, lick his wounds or whatever, and then he has to move on, which really they don't have a choice to because they have to focus on the next game. So they can't.
Right. No, I mean, it's really pretty easy
Yeah.
I mean, it really is those end of the season games, like,
Yeah.
in the playoffs, getting knocked out of the playoffs. That usually takes a minute, like, because it's like, all those dreams and you're this close.
Right. No, I get, and for us, it was, he was in a funk for 2 days and then I was in a funk. So we were constantly having to lift each other out of the funk. And then about a week later,
Right.
it's like, all right, we got to go on vacation and we got to put this behind us. So, but
I do think that's a secret. You just can't both be in a funk at the same time.
yeah,
Somebody's got to be like the positivity. Somebody's got to be the silver lining. Somebody's got to be the up.
yeah,
And then the other person can be the down. Because if you're both the down,
it's not good.
it's not going to work.
No, no. So I want to talk a little bit more about the NFL Sisterhood. This is why I wanted to do this podcast, to just shine a light on like so many of the women like you and the women behind the men, because I think there are just some really cool stories. But the NFL Sisterhood, you've been in this for, you said, 20 something years now,
This
right?
is our 27th season. So, yeah.
So how do you think we uplift each other and support each other in this NFL Sisterhood?
Well, I think it's like, well, we're in it together. I mean, it's like we're like, nobody else really quite understands it. I mean, unless you've been, I mean, other sports, definitely. But we understand, and you can kind of complain, because I mean, it's all relative. And I'm also a big, like, I hate that whole, like, it could always be worse. Because I do feel like if you're having any kind of struggle, like you should be allowed to like have that struggle. But at the same time, it's like I do recognize that complaining about my husband being up there 14, 15 hours a day is probably not, doesn't seem that bad to people like from the outside looking in. But it does whenever you're making a lot of decisions and you're like carrying most of the mental load. When I don't like to say single parent because we are not single parents. We have our partners, and but I like to say when you're the only present parent for most of the time, it's I mean, it's a lot, and it can feel like a lot, especially when the reason is not it's not the military, it's not curing cancer. It's football, which I love football, by the way. But it can get kind of hard. And the girls, the sisterhood, the other wives, I mean, they're kind of like your lifeline because you can complain to them and they do understand. But they're also the people that they're your company. They're who you can call or who you can hang out with, or who you can watch the game with if you're not going to the away game. But I've met, I mean, some of my best friends through the NFL. I mean, it's just
Like you and Kim were friends, like
yes.
back in your Cowboys days, right?
Yes. Well, you know what? What's funny about that is we were never on a team together, but she was living in Dallas, and she's a lot like you. She started she started doing this like kind of a connect. She still has like a Kim Connects, but
Yeah.
she started doing lunches for NFL wives, and you didn't have, because so many wives live in Dallas.
Mhm.
Whether even if like they play for another team, their off season home was in Dallas, and there's so many people who play for Dallas who end up just staying because they like it so much. So there was plenty, and so I started going to these lunches, and that she started, and we just clicked. I mean, we just clicked. And it's like, I mean, almost instantaneously. So it's been, gosh, I have to figure that out. probably 20 years.
And you
20
guys know,
years.
like, she comes out to go to your birthday party or whatever. So
Yep.
that's an example of how, enduring these friendships are. I notice, and I think this is so important, like, especially when I was younger and first starting out in this business, I got so excited anytime I got a gift from the head coach's wife. It would just be like, ooh, Mickey gave us some Tiffany. And I know but people give really nice gifts. And I think the other wives on the staff appreciate that. I see on your Instagram, girl, you give some nice gifts. But
Well,
it's very
I
important.
mean, first of all, that is my love language, gift giving.
Yeah.
Like, I just get a real, and it's not just the gifts. Because I mean, that it's also like, what if that's your love language, giving and receiving gifts? So, I mean, I don't like to be like, oh, my love language is give me presents. But I think it's whenever you can think about someone and, and you give them a gift that they know that, like, you get them and like you really thought about it and you found the perfect thing for them, like that just I mean, that's my love language. But as far as being a head coach's wife, like I really want, and I mean, you can do it. There's so many different ways to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. I think, most do give gifts, but my whole thing is I wanted all the wives to feel supported and to feel a part of it. I wanted us all to feel like we were part of the team because, you move places and it's hard. It's hard. You have to start completely all over. And now my personality on every team is that I haven't always been like jumped in and done everything. I would like meet friends and I would show up to some things, but I also kept like, would make friends outside too. Cause I just need, sometimes you just need something that's not football because otherwise you need some conversations that aren't. But, as the head coach's wife, I realized that, I must have to get out a little bit out of my comfort zone because now I'm going to have to be like at everything and do everything. But I really did want to make all the wives feel like they were a part of something special and that they were valued. And, yeah. And so giving gifts is part of that, but it's only a small part. I mean, there's other things that I try to do to make sure everybody's connected and, making friends and, feeling good, like feeling positive. I mean, and it does translate into into helping the husbands as well. Because I mean, you can't have the kind of job that our husbands have if they're coming home and their wife is upset and mad at them and lonely. And, so it's,
And I think you touched on something. It's just the loneliness because I think it can be isolating because in some of these cities, not everybody lives in the same community.
right.
So maybe you don't know the neighbors or you don't hang out or just having those people that you can get together with and say, hey, so-and-so's wife and I went for a walk around the park. Kathy and I met for lunch. It makes you happier and more fulfilled. And then they can relax and concentrate on work
Right.
because they know she's not at home sad and lonely because I'm gone for 14 hours.
Right. Well, and it just gives you a community immediately. Cause you can find, lots of people move and they don't have like a whole staff full of wives, like to be like their friends immediately. But it kind of like immediately you have a community,
Yeah.
like from jump, you can like put in the group me. Does anybody have a good recommendation for a pediatrician or whatever, a lawn care guy or this? And the people who have been here can help you out a little bit like that because, when you move somewhere and nobody, you're just going to have to do it all on your own. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to hire a lot of people you shouldn't have hired.
It's overwhelming. It is.
Yeah. It's
But
literally starting over your whole life, like
yeah,
every single time you have to move.
yeah. But I was getting back to the gift giving. I remember years ago, we did a wives trip or something, and one of the coaches pulled me aside and he said, that was a very nice thing of you guys to do because, he said, look, it's not for you. It's not for my wife. It's for like the younger guys, the quality control, the guys who don't make a lot of money, for their wives to get treated to something special like this
Right.
is a really big deal. And I think that goes a long way with your staff too, just in terms of letting them know, hey, we appreciate you and you do
Right.
a phenomenal job of that.
Well, that's been my goal. That's been like my main goal. Just because I do think it's important.
Yeah.
And we ended up adding the trainers, the training staff to the coaching because, and it was actually, they hired someone new, and they actually asked Dan in the interview, what like if the wives from the trainers were included, and they weren't. And then we started realizing that I don't know if they are in a lot of places. And these women move too.
Yeah.
These women are doing the whole same thing. And so then that's when we decided trainers are coaches' wives too. So they are included. It's like until you have like a structure of like where somebody can do that, then come on in. The more the merrier. So and then I have great wives who do. I mean, Jenny Phipp, our special teams coordinator's wife, she does like a monthly coffee at
Okay.
her house. So and then we've had people do Bible studies. And so it's like, I don't have to do all of it myself, but I do think kind of like fostering that like community, it gets people more fired up to do their things too. And so there's just always something that we can be doing. And then also like what I notice on a lot of teams, because I always did tend to show up to the charity stuff. Not everybody shows up to that. And I know people are busy and people have kids and those kind of things. But what I started realizing is it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to walk into like a volunteer thing if you don't really know anyone. And so that's when I realized that the social aspect of it is very important, because that's where you know, you make some friends. And then it's like when someone says, "Hey, are you going to, the charity thing?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, are you going? I'll go." And so then you also get a bigger turnout for those kind of things as well.
Because all you need is that one person. Like
Right.
and I know this is your girl, Kathy Agnew.
Oh yes, hands down, the best sidekick that you could ever have.
Yes. I met her. I went to a preseason game by myself, and I'm sitting there and she's sitting there, and she said, "Is your husband with the team?" And I said, "Yeah." And from then on, we became buddies. But it's just been so cool, even after we moved away, to see those relationships like you and Kathy and Carrie just grow and expand. And so I just love seeing the pictures of you guys going to games together and hanging out together. It's just an example of how that sisterhood and that bond keeps growing.
That's what I definitely say. Kathy is like my security blanket. Like if I have to go somewhere, I'm like, "Kathy, do you want to do this?" And she's always a yes. And I'm like, "Okay, yes." I don't have to walk in alone.
Well, I tell you and I told this story before when I had Kathy on last year. The last game, it was on a Sunday when we were there, and the news had broke that morning that Anthony was being fired. He wasn't coming back. And Kathy and I were coming to your suite to sit together. And we had some friends in town, and they said, "Well, isn't that going to be awkward? Like you're going to sit in his wife's suite, and he's firing Anthony." And I was like, "Look, Holly has always been nice to me, and I'm going to sit in the suite to have drinks and snacks. That whatever is whatever. Like I don't really care. Like I'm going to be kicking."
Well, I just do want to let you know, because I did like say something, because like I had no idea. Like I mean, like that's awful. Like, I mean, I understand how bad the optics of that was. And I was mortified. Like I was literally like almost in tears, but it's like, the business stuff has nothing to do with us. And like, I'm not going to hold that against, any wife. And I would hope they wouldn't against me. But I do, I think it was like, they were just, I can't remember what the thing was. I don't think it was saying that he was going to get fired, but it was something. And I just, and I didn't know, like, whatever it was, I didn't know to be true. And Dan does talk to me about stuff. I knew things weren't going well, like not necessarily just like, oh, with Anthony, but like with just the offense in general. And I knew that they were like trying to make changes and scrambling and this and that. But I knew for a fact there's no way that he would have said that to anybody. Like there was zero chance. But when I saw you, I hadn't even talked to Dan, and I was just like, "There's no way he said that. I don't know what's going on." And we kind of like squashed it. And then of course, it happened. But what I do want people to know, that if you are a player or a coach in the NFL, you are damn good at what you do. And sometimes it's not the right fit, or sometimes it's just like not the right, but it's like nobody sucks. And so that's what really pisses me off, like about, just when you see stuff and it's like, if something's not going well, it's all on this like one person, or someone gets crucified, or someone's awful. And sometimes it's just not the right fit. And But yes, like that was an awkward moment in the suite. And I think we both handled it very, very well. And I do think you are the classiest and like I mean, you handled everything perfectly through the entire thing. I don't know if I did, but I really did try. And I feel like you might be, you guys might have gotten even with us now since you literally have knocked us out of the playoffs twice. So
It's funny. You were funny. But you know what? You're right. It was a little awkward, but we talked and acknowledged that it was awkward. And I think I was like, all right, well, where's the food? Where's the wine?
well, you know what else? Remember what else was awkward about it is that Jessica Johnson,
Oh
who Ben ended up, Dan promoted him. She was in there with us too. And so like when I got home and I was like, Dan,
yeah.
I was like, and he was like, oh God, he goes, I don't know. He goes, I'm like, and I'm just like, I was like, that can never happen again. Nothing like that could ever happen again.
But it was, how are we supposed to know? It was weeks.
Oh no, it's obviously like a reporter got wind of something from someone, and it was like a bigger headline.
Yes.
I was just like, could they have just waited 24 hours?
You know how that goes. Yeah, you know.
Why'd they have to ruin my party?
Exactly. But they did not, because we were like, whatever, we're going to have a good time. And I think
we did have a good time. So.
Yeah. People would even say to me, you know, well, it's just sometimes in any business, mine, yours, I don't care if you're a plumber. Like sometimes it's just not a good fit and you move on.
Right.
And everybody still gets along and it is what it is.
Right.
So
and the league is littered with, you just see it all the time where someone doesn't, is very, very successful one place and then they go someplace else and they're not successful at all, or they're not successful at all. And then the next place they go,
they blow up.
Or like the second coming, it's like it's not like they were coaching better or playing better. It's just, it was a better fit. Sometimes it's, sometimes it's not about like how good you are at your job. Sometimes it's about like all the other pieces around you as well and how well you can collaborate together and, or just how well you mesh, and certain people mesh better together than others. But I will tell you that that gutted Dan because he loves Anthony and he has so much respect for him and he knows what a good coach he is. And it was nothing to do with the fact that he wasn't a good coach. It had to do with the fact that like it wasn't working and he had to do something. And sometimes you have to just blow the whole thing up,
right?
And that's what fixes it. It's just one of those hard things.
Yes.
As a head coach, I know Anthony has had to make those kind of decisions before too, and it's just it guts you. And thank God it's not me, because we would have a staff full of people whose wives I liked. Like you would still be here. It was up to me.
But you're right. And Anthony I don't want to get into a love fest, but he feels the same way about Dan. He loves him. His respect for him never changed. He loves Sheila and the entire Lions organization. They were somewhere after that. And he saw Sheila, and I think he said they were hanging out having a drink. And this other coach was like, how can you hang out with her? They fired you. And he was like, no, they were good people. I got a lot of respect for them. They were good to me. So it just, it's the business. And I think we all get that. So
yeah, it hurts. There's like that. That is the worst.
Yeah.
That is like I feel like in the beginning, because that was the first year and there was a few more in the next years, as that, those bothered me a lot. Like, cause it was very hard for me to face that. Like, oh, wow. My husband just fired your husband, and then it's like, and then all your friends, it's like, oh, yeah, we just got rid of your friend.
Right.
So so that was a little bit harder for me to take, but I guess it's also, and I know Anthony knows it because he's been in the top chair before. It's like, you understand that it's like, it's not what you want. It's not always about what you want. It's about what's best for the team. And you just have to go with that. And I will say I've gotten a little bit of thicker skin. I've gotten a little bit, I just don't love it. It's not something I enjoy at all, but I guess I've released some of the personal guilt that I feel. Cause I'm like, I don't that's not really mine anyway. I don't have anything to do with it.
That's so true. My gosh, we could talk forever. I just love talking to you. But last question,
Okay.
this NFL Sisterhood, which is why I wanted to do this. What has this NFL Sisterhood meant to you over your, 20 plus year career in the NFL?
What has it meant to me?
As far as having a
Well, it's meant everything. It's made a it's giving me a family to celebrate with, to be nervous with, to ride out the bad periods with, because while everybody out there is like down and critical, it's like they're in the boat with you. So it's like you do have, it's support. That's what it is. It's support, and it really does help you through it.
Thank you so much, Holly. Like, I really enjoyed talking to you. I have to have you back on at some point to talk more about how you built your.
I would love to.
You probably don't like to say your brand, but you do have a brand now.
If I do say my brand, I always use quick. Like, I'm always like, oh, well, I guess that's on brand, which means if it like falls into the stay at home, retired, because both my kids are like, but my son's a full-fledged adult with a real job, and my daughter's a sophomore in college. So I'm not even like a full-time mom anymore. I'm a retired mom. But if it falls into like what appeals to us middle-aged, retired women of the NFL, then that's on brand for me.
Well, that's why I wanted to do this. Us middle-aged women in the NFL. This is the brand that I want to push, and I'm all about. So thank you so much for coming on, and good luck. I think we see you guys in November, December. Not going to be fun because I'm sure it'll be, a big game that everybody will be talking about after last year. So
yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to be ready for you. Just wait.
All right, girl. Thank you.
Healthy competition.
Yes. Tell Kathy and Stacey I said hi, and
I will.
All right. Good luck this season. Super Wives of the NFL with Holly Campbell. Her husband is Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. Thanks, Holly.
Okay, thanks for listening, and thanks in advance for liking this podcast and leaving a review. Meet you here next week.